ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारोति वाचालम् अङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणं जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Read from the line when the activities.
When the activities for sense gratification, namely the karma kanda chapter, are finished, then the chance for self-realization is offered in the form of the Upanishads, which are part of different Vedas. As the Bhagavad Gita is a part of the fifth Veda, namely the Mahabharata.
Wait. Mostly Vedas, four Vedas are describing karma kand, meaning you are doing certain activities to get some fruits. That is karma kand. So when one understands that these karma kanda activities are not so good because the fruits which we get are simply temporary. Again, we are bound the knowledge beyond the Vedas, that is Upanishad. So four Vedas are talking about only karma kanda to get the material fruits. Upanishad talk about higher spiritual realization, spiritual that. There are other set of books in which Upanishads are mentioned, which helps us for higher spiritual realization beyond karma kanda. So when one takes interest in spiritual realization, then the knowledge is given in the Upanishad. Read further.
Upanishads are marked the beginning of transcendental life.
Yes. So in the Vedas, you are interested in material fruits only, is material life only. Only difference is material life based on scriptures. People in the world are living material life without scriptural guidelines. So that is sinful life. Material life without scriptural guidelines is sinful life. Material life with scriptural guidelines, Vedic guidelines, is karma kanda. Okay, this is material life only, nothing spiritual in it. So, and better than that is knowledge, get acquiring spiritual knowledge from Upanishad. So that marks the beginning of spiritual life, Upanishad. So just performing some religious activity doesn't make you spiritual. Someone goes and take bath in Ganges in Kumbh Mela. It's a religious activity, not necessarily it's a spiritual activity. So if you are taking bath in a Ganges in Kumbh Mela, that is a religious activity that makes you religious, doesn't make you spiritual. Still you are living a material life, but a religious material life, better than sinful material life. If you are not following religion, then you are simply living a sinful life. If you are not practicing religion, then you are living a sinful life. If you are not practicing religion, then you are living a sinful life. And if your life has 50% religion, that means 50% sin. If your life has 20% religion, that means 18% sin. So people do in the material world little bit religious activity, and they think that they are doing good. No, lot of their life is sinful. They are doing only little religion. And because you are just doing religious activity, that means your life is material, nothing spiritual in it. Even if your life is 100% religious, still you are bound in the birth, old age, disease, and death. Even if your life is 100% religious, still you are bound in birth, old age, disease, and death. There is nothing spiritual in it. There was a great king, Raga. He was giving lot of charity, so much charity he was giving. He was born in the body of a lizard because everything it was religious, nothing spiritual in it. So people, first of all, in the modern times, people are not very much religious. Those who are religious, they perform only little religious activity. And even if your life is 100% religious, still you are going to take birth, old age, disease, and death. Still you will suffer. So being religious is good, but being religious doesn't free you from the suffering of this world. So practicing spiritual principles is important. No, what makes something as spiritual and not as religious? What makes something as spiritual and not religious? What is the answer? What makes something as spiritual and not religious? If you are doing the activity only for the pleasure of Krishna, under the direction of spiritual teachers. So, doing activities for the pleasure of Krishna under the direction of spiritual teachers. Both the conditions should be there. That activity, it is done for Krishna's pleasure under the direction of spiritual teachers. Hmm. Then it is spiritual. Otherwise, it is religious. Okay. Activity done under the direction of spiritual teacher or Krishna's pleasure. So many times we do activities not under the direction of spiritual teacher. It is a proper activity. Just like, for example, someone is asked to build a temple. Good. Another person is not asked to build a temple and he builds the temple. So is it spiritual or religious? He is not asked to build a temple and he is building the temple. Is it spiritual or religious? It is religious. Nothing spiritual in it. Building temple is good. You are not building your own house. You're building temple. But it is not under the direction. You are not given the direction. So it is religious only, nothing spiritual in it. So we have to talk activity, religious activity. Of course, better than sin is being religious. Better than being sinful is better to act religious. But you are not bothered about Krishna's pleasures. You are simply concerned about your own activity under the direction of spiritual teacher for Krishna's pleasure. Then it becomes spiritual. That frees us from the cycle of birth and death. That is pleasing to Krishna. See, if you are doing chanting but not for Krishna's pleasure, why it will please Krishna? You are doing it just like you have cooked some food and some guest, some person knows that okay, you have cooked but not for me, so why I will be happy about it? Like that. You have cooked something for me, but I didn't ask to cook that for me. You cooked something for me, but I have not asked you to cook that. So why I will be happy about it? Understood both the points? So it should be for Krishna's pleasure under the direction of spiritual teachers. Then only it works. Yes. Then only it is spiritual. So Upanishads, they begin the teachings to help us function in spiritual platform. So what is Upanishads teach? They simply talk about the Supreme Lord. That's all. They do not talk much about the service. They only talk about the Supreme Lord. First, you understand the Supreme Lord for Krishna's pleasure. That means you understand first Krishna. Then only service later comes. The service part is taught in Srimad Bhagavatam. Upanishad only talk about Supreme Lord, Supreme Absolute Truth. Since this Upanishad mark beginning of spiritual life or transcendental life. Okay. Read further.
As long as the material body exists, there are actions and reactions in the material world.
Yes. So as long as body is there, one has to act. Nobody can be inactive. Everyone is acting. Now, all activities can be divided in three categories: pious activities, sinful activities, and devotional activities. What is sinful, which is not non-scriptural or non-religious? What is pious, which is scriptural and religious? What is devotional? You may say, I'm not that much sinful, I'm not stealing, I'm not killing. Agreed. We are not saying that your life is very much black, but not white also. Isn't it? Your life is not black, but not white also. So, like that. So, try to make your life as who had spiritual life. So many examples. As I speak about Kodavicha Sridhar, he was working to maintain his body in Krishna. Simple. So if you have more faith in money, more faith in my house, my relatives, my bank balance, my this, my position, then it will lead you to sinful life. Not that much big sinful, but sinful life. So we have to develop more faith in Krishna. Then we become more and more devotional. And faith in Krishna is tested also by giving you the situations to 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 ensure whether you have faith in Krishna or faith in scriptures or faith in matter. So Bali Maharaj was tested. He showed that he has full faith in Krishna and gave everything to Krishna. His guide Shukracharya, he didn't have full faith in Krishna. He has and matter. So he was prohibiting Bali Maharaj to give charity to Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they are born in demon family. Vibhishan, it is not described in Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam talks about other kings also who are householders. Yes, Maharaj exhibit full faith in Krishna and make our life successful. So we have to do it. Show your good faith in Krishna and make your human life successful. So you have to act in what is your body. And whatever actions you will do, you will get reaction. So if you do sinful activity, you will suffer. If you do pious activity, you will get facilities. And if you do devotional activity, you will experience Krishna's love, Krishna's joy, Krishna's shelter. So people in the world are interested in facilities, thinking that they will be happy by getting the facilities. For that they don't do pious activities. They do sinful activities to get the facilities because they think that by doing the sinful activities they can get more and more facilities. But result is that they suffer more and more. Just later, that's all. So pious activities gives facilities, sinful activities gives miseries. Devotional activities gives shelter of Krishna. So actual happiness comes by shelter of Krishna, not by facilities. You have a very good bed to sleep. You have a very good bed to sleep, but you have the anxiety that your whole house is broken. The whole house is broken, and you have a very good bed to sleep. Can you sleep peacefully? Can't. So facility can't give you joy. It's Krishna's shelter which can give you joy. So whole house is broken, and bed is also broken. But the small child in the lap of mother is sleeping peacefully. Why? Because that child has shelter of mother. So like that. Shelter of Krishna can give us happiness, not the facilities. So we should be interested in Krishna's shelter. And Krishna will test us whether you are interested in mere facilities by taking away the facilities. Krishna will test us whether you are interested in Krishna facilities by taking away the facilities. So Krishna will test in these two ways. He will take away all the facilities and check, and he will give a lot of facilities and he will check. These two tests he does and checks whether we are interested in Krishna or we are interested in facilities. If we pass these tests and show our faith in Krishna, show our interest in Krishna only, then we are welcome in the kingdom of God. Otherwise, we remain in this material world. So, better act in a devotional manner so that we get shelter of Krishna. We show our interest in Krishna. Read further.
One has to learn tolerance in the face of dualities such as happiness and distress, or cold and warm, and by tolerating such dualities, become free from anxieties regarding gain and loss.
Yes, same thing. Tolerate happiness, distress, cold, warmth. That means tolerate when lot of facilities come. Tolerate when no facilities there. Show your interest in Krishna only. That's how Krishna will test. Read further.
This transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness when one is full dependent on the good will of Krishna.
Yes. So when you are fully dependent on Krishna, fully interested in Krishna, full faith in Krishna, then you don't bother about facilities, no facilities. Like that. So one has to be devoted and be in Krishna's shelter and don't bother about worldly things. Next verse. यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. Retranslation.
All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them.
Hmm. So earlier people used to get water from wells or river. So there was the system earlier that different wells were meant for different functions. Like this well is for drinking water, that well is for washing clothes, this another well is for bathing, like that. The well which has most sweet water is meant for drinking. The well which doesn't have good water, why it will be used for drinking? Better it use it for washing clothes or something like that. And that way you maintain good hygiene and clean life also. Place where everyone is bathing or washing clothes, from the same place you collect drinking water, it may not be good, isn't it? So that system was there. At home also we should implement this. It's not that the you collect the water from the bathroom and use it for cooking. Not good. From one perspective, you may think there's the same water coming, isn't it? It's the same water. But still, the cleanliness which is there in your kitchen is not the same in your bathroom. So we don't use the same water. Okay. So that difference has to be there. So the water, so different wells would be there to collect the water for different functions. So this is what Krishna is saying, that all purposes served by small wells. Means different small well which fulfill different purposes can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Meaning that yes, you are using different wells for different function, but if a flowing water is there, flowing river water is there, then that same water is sufficient to collect the drinking water and for washing and bathing and everything. Because it's flowing water. It's not a stagnant water, it's a flowing water. So flowing water, you can use it for drinking and for bathing also. Okay? It's a flowing water. So so for different purposes, different wells are required, but same river water which is flowing can solve all the purposes. Similarly, in the Vedas, different procedures are given, okay, for different purposes. Just like different wells for different functions, similarly, different procedures in the Vedas for different purposes. But if you take shelter of bhakti, all the purposes will be taken care. If you take shelter of bhakti, all the purposes will be taken care. Just like if you take shelter of flowing river water, all the purposes will be taken care. Similarly, if you take shelter of bhakti, all the purposes will be taken care. So, what is the purpose? Ultimate purpose of all the Vedic scriptures is bhakti. So, the one who knows the purpose behind them, that is bhakti, then he can fulfill all the purposes. Clear? Like that it is said. So from Vedas you are doing fulfilling your small purposes, but if you take shelter of bhakti, all your purposes will be taken care. Yes. Read the Bhagavad.
The rituals and the sacrifices mentioned in the Karma Kand division of the Vedic literature are made to encourage gradual development of self-realization.
Yes. So some people may not be directly interested in spiritual life. I said sinful life, religious life, and spiritual life. Sinful life, religious life, or material life only. So some people may not be interested directly in spiritual life. They are interested in material life. So if you directly give them the spiritual direction, they will reject it. So what to do? So give them material life. So Vedas gives them religious material life, not sinful material life. Religious material life. It has many rituals and sacrifices. And gradually, by giving them religious material life, it tries to elevate one to spiritual life. So this is said here that Vedic scriptures are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization or spiritual life. Okay, read further.
And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 15.15. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything.
Yes. So purpose of Vedic scriptures is to know Krishna or offering bhakti to him. Like that. That is the purpose of self-realization. Self-realization means knowing the self. Knowing the self means I am servant of Krishna. And who is Krishna? The Supreme Lord. Like that. So all are connected. Self-realization or bhakti or knowing Krishna is the cause of all causes. Like that. Read more.
So, self-realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with him.
Yes, same thing I said. Know Krishna and know your relationship with him that I am devotee of Krishna. Read more.
The relationship of living entities with Krishna is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 15.7. The living entities are parts and parcels of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge.
Wait. Yes. So ultimate purpose of Vedic scriptures or highest purpose of Vedic scriptures or perfectional stage of Vedic scriptures is to become devotee of Krishna or be Krishna conscious. Okay. So that is the constitutional position of all the living entities to be devotee of Krishna. And that is the purpose of Vedic scriptures. Just like some lost child is son of Mr. Malhotra. Okay. Some lost child is son of Mr. Malhotra. So you may offer him different guidelines, but all your guidelines should be ultimately meant to bring him back home. Like that. Read further.
This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7 as follows.
अहो बताश्व पशुतो गरीयान् यच्चिवाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यं ते पुस्तपस्ते जुवो सस्नुरार्या ब्रह्मानुचूर्णां गृह्णन्ति ये ते.
O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chanda dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self realization.
Hmm. So it's a glorification of Lord's holy name. That someone who may be born in a very low family, how much low family? That he is a dog eater. Now, hardly we see any dog eater. So low family. Someone who is born in such a low family that he is a dog eater, if he chants Lord's holy name, can be situated
Yes,
on the highest platform. Okay, it's like this. I will give you simple example. Lift is a lift, right? If a dog enters into that lift will take the dog also on the highest platform. Yes. So, like that, chanting Lord's holy name is very powerful. That anyone who takes shelter of Lord's holy name, irrespective of their birth, irrespective of their sinful activities, past sinful activities, everyone can be elevated to the highest stage. That is the power of Lord's holy name. Important condition is that you have to stop your sinful activities. That is important condition. It cannot happen that you continue your sinful life, material life, and you expect chanting holy name and you will be elevated. That cannot happen. So even a dog eater can be situated on the highest platform. We should stop dog eating. You understand? He cannot continue eating flesh and expect that by chanting holy name he will be delivered. No, that cannot happen. That cannot happen. He will remain in the material world. See, Ajamil, he was chanting Lord's holy name. He didn't got liberated by chanting Lord's holy name. He still remained in the material world because he was continuing sin. He was protected from hellish life, but he remained in this material world because he was continuing sin. And good part of Ajamil was that he didn't chant the Lord's holy name to free himself from sin. But people in this world chant holy name to free themselves from sin. That is very bad. So a dog eater can be purified provided he stops dog eating. Stop dog eating and practice spiritual life sincerely, you will be elevated. And we have so many examples of sinful people. Valmiki, so sinful he was. He got elevated by chanting Lord's holy name, isn't it? And Mrigari, he was also very sinful. He got elevated by chanting Lord's holy name. Bilmangal Thakur, he was also sinful. He got elevated by chanting Lord's holy name. Hmm. Bilmangal Thakur, yes. So many examples who got elevated by chanting holy name. So similarly, if we also chant, we can also be elevated. But both the things cannot go. Chanting Lord's holy name, continuing your material life also. And it's like this that you are on the going on the lift and then come out of the lift, go down little bit, and then further you can go inside the lift and go up and then further come out, go down. Then will you be elevated? No, it doesn't work. So stop your material life and take up to spiritual life sincerely. You will be elevated. Like that. So even a dog eater can be purified. That is the power of obedience. Why this specifically mentioned as dog eater? Because others religious processes, not spiritual processes, religious processes requires you to have good background also. Other religious process requires you to have good background also. Without that good background, you cannot practice those religious process. Just like in some school, if you require admission, they will expect that you should know this, like that, and they will take the test also maybe before giving you the admission in the school. So like that, different religious process requires you certain good background from you. But spiritual process doesn't require any background. That is why this is mentioned that even a dog eater can be purified by chanting Lord's holy name. That is the power of Lord's holy name. And he will be purified to what extent? To the topmost extent, highest purification. Read further.
Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage.
Yes. So the benefit which one may get by performing lot of penances, sacrifices, taking bath in holy places, it's like this. Someone someone did lot of other scriptural processes and gradually got purified, and then he took the and then finally he could attain Lord's abode. Then he practiced bhakti and went to Lord's abode. Another person, he didn't do all the other things, he just chanted Lord's holy name sincerely and he went to Lord's abode. This person did so many things, got purified and went to Lord's abode. He didn't do anything, he just chanted Lord's holy name and he went to Lord's abode. So it is considered that by chanting Lord's holy name, he has performed all other processes. Okay. Another example I can give that someone has 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, like that. And making it up, he is giving the total 1,000 rupees. Another person, he just had directly 2,000 rupees. That's all. So chanting Lord's holy name is like that. Has the power, accumulated power of all the other processes and purifies us. So the one who is chanting Lord's holy name is considered to be performing all kinds of penances, sacrifice, rituals, holy places, bath, everything. So in this way, chanting Lord's holy name is very powerful. Read further.
Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family.
Aryan means the one who follows the Vedic scriptures, or the one who is religious, or the one who is following the law codes, or the one who is civilized. Like that. That is Aryan. So best of the Aryan. That means who is following the principles in a best manner. So the one who is practicing spiritual principle is the best person. Chanting Lord's holy name is the topmost principle of this among the spiritual principles. So he is the best of the Aryan who is chanting Lord's holy name. Read further.
So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdom for a better quality of sense gratification.
Hmm. So don't be interested in heaven. Don't be interested in material facilities. Okay. Don't be very much attached to performing rituals. कि अरे आज ये है, ये करना है, वो करना है. Understand the purpose to love Krishna, to please Krishna. And what Krishna expects you, that's simple. So understand the purpose and do the needful. Don't be caught up by rituals and material facilities. Think about that.
It's not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals, nor it is possible to study all the Vedanta and the Upanishad thoroughly.
Yeah. And even if you decide, fine, I will do all the rituals, our limited time, energy, capacity doesn't permit us to do that. We can't follow all the rules and regulation, and we can't study all the Vedic scriptures. They are very vast. Just Bhagavad Gita itself, 700 verses. People don't read it fully. What to speak of four Vedas? Upanishads, 108 Upanishads. The Ishopanishad which we have has 18 verses. It's not that all the Upanishads are small like that. Some Upanishads are big also. So even if you consider, let's say, only 18 verses in all Upanishads. So 18 into 100, 1800. Our Bhagavad Gita is only 700. Better read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so not convenient also to read all the Upanishads. It's not easy to understand the message of Upanishad. Very difficult. Read further.
It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources to execute the purposes of the Vedas.
Yeah, see, time is required. Most people say, don't, no time. No time. So do bhakti, but bhakti also they don't have time. The time we don't have. Energy, do you have energy? No, you are tired. Isn't it? Don't have energy. Knowledge, no knowledge. No education about it. No knowledge. The time don't have energy, don't have knowledge, don't have resources. Do you have that much money? You don't have that much money. Even if you have money, with your money, can you buy pure ghee? Can't. First, pure ghee should be available. Pure for pure ghee, pure cow should be available, isn't it? Cow is not getting good grass to eat, and you expect pure ghee. How it is possible? So with your money, even if you have a lot of money, you can't get pure ghee. So why? How can you perform the sacrifices? So we don't have resources also. So time is not there, energy is not there, knowledge is not there, resources is not there. So how can you perform the other things? So better practice spiritual process, chant Lord's holy name. Read further.
This is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls.
Yeah, so chant Lord's holy name. And Lord has unlimited holy names. Among all the holy names, which names you have to chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Read further.
When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, uh, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy, the Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna.
Yes. So normally some of the spiritualists they are very much interested in studying Upanishad, Vedas, Vedanta and all that. And they feel this is the good process to for the liberation. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not doing all that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was simply chanting Lord's holy name and dancing. So Prakash and Saraswati had questioned him in Banaras. And he said, no, my spiritual master told me to simply chant Lord's holy name because I am fool. And when he's saying himself fool, that means we all are fool. So chant Lord's holy name. Don't bother about other activities. Okay. So in Gaya, Ishwar Puri had told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just chant Lord's holy name. Don't do anything else. So that is the process. And that's how we can grow in Krishna consciousness. And that will give us lot of devotional feeling, so much so that one people may call him a madman. So I'll talk about it in the next class. Hare Krishna, thank you. Any other clarification anyone has? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.